This is Royce from AgriGrand. Welcome back to our seed starting experiment using paper towels. So we have the 4 different samples here. We have the spinach seeds that were in my pocket. We have the spinach that was not in my pocket. We have the hairy vetch, and we have the sorghum seeds. So we have 4 different packs here. We're going to look at which ones sprouted, which ones didn't. There's a little surprising result. I thought the spinach that was in my pocket was going to sprout way quicker, but actually none of these sprouted yet, and a lot of the ones that were just hanging out did sprout, so that was kind of surprising. I've had good success with that method using hot pepper seeds and tomato seeds, but I don't think spinach is a fan of it. Other materials that I've got here, I doubled up on my 10-20 trays down here, and then I have these 6-cell inserts, and so I can fit 36 total plants in here. I have plant labels here, a couple different colors. I've got my marker for marking them, and I've got over here the secret weapon, worm castings. So here we go. We're gonna start planting. All right, let's start by opening the spinach that was not in my pocket. Let's talk about where these things were hanging out. Okay, this is 48 hours, almost exactly after we put them in the paper towel originally. So actually it's about 50 hours later, but that doesn't matter. It's 2 days later, so let's see what kind of growth we've got. And these were hanging out right by my computer, so I felt kind of a warm, nice spot there. It was probably about 75 degrees. And here we go. There's the spinach, and it looks like we have maybe sprouting. We have, let's see. There's, I think, 5 of them that have not. Nope. There's only 4 of them that haven't sprouted yet. So that means we have a 60% germination rate. I'm trying to see if this one did sprout yet. It's hard to tell. Anyway, so how do you know if they've sprouted? Well, you see the little tail coming out? That is the tip of the root that's going to go into the dirt. So that means they have sprouted. The seeds will split, and we get that in view. The seeds will split, and then you can go ahead and pop in the dirt. This one is a little bit longer than I would have hoped for. I was hoping to catch them a little bit earlier. And let's see here. I want to say that if you can catch the seed right when it splits and right when the root comes out, like this guy right here, the root is just like barely coming out of the seed. That's what you're looking for, like perfect time to actually plant them. But I think these will all work, and I will go ahead and just plant all of these. All right, I'm going to put those off to the side for now. Let's contrast those with the spinach in the pocket. All right, spinach seeds, and these have been in my pocket, and I don't see any of them that sprouted yet. I mean, maybe a little bit. I can almost see a little white tail coming out of this one over here. Maybe just a little tiny bit. That one, I think, has a little speck of white root coming out. But I think that I'm going to leave these out, actually, and let them sprout on their own in the room temperature. All right, so first time growing these ones here. Everything here, first time I've been growing these, so it's an experiment for all of us. Here's the sorghum. And these guys really took off. A lot of them sprouted, most of them. A couple have really long tails, which is great. A couple of them have like these real fuzzy looking roots. See that one right there? That one's got really fuzzy roots there. Right there. And I like to get them in the dirt before they actually make the fuzzy roots. Last up here, hairy vetch. I wonder if these are going to be hairy. Let's see. No, just regular roots. Looks like most of these have also sprouted. Maybe 75% sprouted. That's great though. All right, let's plant them. All right, let's plant these spinach seeds. So I'm going to plant them all, even though they all haven't sprouted yet. I hope they will sprout. What am I planting them in? Well, I've got coconut coir going on here. You can get this generally in blocks, like on Amazon. You can order a block of coconut coir, and you can just go ahead and plant in here. It's a nice light, kind of fibrous media. You can go to the Home Depot or the Lowe's, whatever big box stores near you, and you can get a potting mix, and that will do the same thing for you. All right, so I'm going to use my trusty Bic pen. I've been planting seeds using a Bic pen, a Bic crystal, to be precise, forever. So I'm just going to make a little hole here, about 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to take these seeds and drop them right down in there. I'm going to plant the ones that have sprouts on them first. All right, so I've planted one pack here, and I'm just going to cover over them lightly. Now, I didn't compress this media, I just put it in loose and kind of scraped off the top. I'm going to reach in and just grab the secret weapon here, the worm castings. This is from Third Day Worm Farm in Pennsylvania. I'm just going to take a little bit and sprinkle on top. This is going to provide fertilizer for the plants. A lot of microbes. A lot of good ones. Microbes are good, generally, for plants. And worms have a lot of microbes in their digestive system, and they kind of just make this perfect little fertilizer for us. So I just sprinkled a bit on the surface, and then done. I'm going to go ahead and water these later on, and I'm just going to saturate them maybe, I don't know, with about a teaspoon of water per little cell. So that's it for the spinach in this tray. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the next tray, and I'm going to put, I think, the hairy vetch in there. All right, now I'm all set up to plant the hairy vetch. I got the plant labels in there. You know, I thought hairy vetch was like a pink color, so I picked the pink for the hairy vetch. I got green for spinach. That makes sense, right? So here I go. I'm just going to drop these right. I already made the holes. These are pretty big seeds, so I think you can just kind of put them as deep as you like, maybe even up to 1 inch. I don't know. So I'm just going to drop them in, one per cell there. And considering how fast these things sprouted just on their own and in the paper towel, I would feel comfortable, you know, just planting seeds like this directly in the soil and just letting them sprout naturally inside there. But hey, first time doing the hairy vetch, so it's fun to just kind of see how fast they sprouted. Okay, that's the hairy vetch planted. And I'm just gonna shake on some worm castings. Now we're gonna plant the sorghum. I'm all ready for this. I got the plant label already filled out. It looks like these actually might have sprouted first. The tails are the longest on here. Well, the roots really, not the tails. So I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna plop them in. One per cell. I have a lot of seeds sprouted here, so I don't know how I'm gonna plant them all. Maybe I'll just plop a couple in each of the remaining cells back here. I'll do like maybe 4 of these little sprouts per cell. And I think that'll be a good use of the space. And I definitely want to plant all the spinach seeds because those, I know I'm gonna eat those. I don't know if I can eat this sorghum. Well, so like, what do you do with it? You wait until it makes seed and then make flour out of it potentially, or just eat the seeds as grain? Okay, so that's the sorghum planted in there, and I think they're gonna like these worm castings. So how expensive are worm castings? Well, I get, I think, 30-pound bags of this castings, and it's about $30 a bag, which is pretty good because these things last a long time. You really don't need much to fertilize the plants. And this is really high quality fertilizer, and there are no synthetic fertilizer bits in here. This is just, I think, cow manure that the worms have worked over. And the gentleman makes a very fine worm casting. So find a supplier by you. Okay, I'm just gonna fill out the back trays with the remaining spinach and everything else. All right, last step in the process. We have got to water these things. So we went ahead and put more spinach seeds in the back, the hairy vetch and the sorghum. Those are all like quadruple, kind of like per cell. So we could fit all the seeds in there. We don't want to waste any. And I'm just gonna take I've got an Algene with a, smaller sized mouth on there. You can use a water bottle. I'm just gonna put my fingers over the top to kind of control the flow rate coming out of here. This is just drinking water. And I'm just gonna let it drip down on there. And I've got my 10-20 trays underneath, so they're gonna catch any of the extra moisture. And it's important to do this because this is gonna let the media kind of get nestled next to each little seedling. And also it's gonna wash down some of the nutrients and some of the microbes from the worm castings that we put on the surface. All right, that is probably pretty good. That was maybe 2 cups of water on this entire flat. Just to give you a size perspective, this thing is, I think it's 21 inches long and about 10.5 inches wide here. So that's it. Next video coming out whenever we have some growth going on.